Let's get back to the U.S. economy. Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg in San Francisco today at the Golden Gate Bridge announcing a $400 million grant to upgrade the landmark and make the structure earthquake-proof. Secretary Buttigieg joins us now to discuss that and where else money from the infrastructure bill will be heading. It's great to see you. Welcome. And first of all, why this landmark? What is the significance as far as our audience, in particular the investing public, is concerned here? What is the message you were trying to convey? Well,
the Golden Gate Bridge is incredibly significant, not just, of course, because of its iconic status and its symbolic meaning, but also because of the very real and very important role that it plays moving people and goods around this area. Not only do something like 37 million passenger vehicles go over this bridge every year, but also over 500,000 freight trucks serving key elements in our supply chains, like the link to waterborne freight at the Port of Oakland. So keeping it in good shape is a matter not just of regional interest, but really of national interest. Now, just over 3 decades ago, there was the Loma Prieta earthquake. Golden Gate Bridge stood strong, but the analysis afterwards made it very clear that if a comparable earthquake were to strike nearer to the heart of San Francisco, this bridge would be at risk. So it's going through a seismic retrofit. We are committing $400 million to help strengthen it and put it in a position to better withstand those kinds of threats. There's a lot of talk about resilience right now in our economy, certainly in California with what they've been through. Part of that's dealing with climate effects, but part of it is the seismic side. And whenever we can strengthen a key part of American infrastructure, of course, that's a big part of what President Biden's infrastructure package is all about.
Mr. Secretary, the infrastructure package includes, I'm seeing on our screen, $110 billion for roads, bridges, and major projects. I'm wondering, simply put, how you choose which bridges, which highways get that money. A cynic might well say, well, of course they're going to put it in San Francisco. That's where former Speaker Nancy Pelosi resides. Of course they're going to invest in a bridge in Kentucky and Ohio. That's where Mitch McConnell resides. These are politically sensitive areas, Ohio and so forth. So how do you decide which bridges, which tunnels, which roadways get the money?
Well, it really is about the merits of the project. There are so many applications that come in. We prioritize them based on the main reasons that our department exists and the reasons we needed this investment in the first place. Number one on the list is safety, and that's definitely on our mind with something like strengthening this bridge against earthquakes. But we're also looking at what's going to benefit our supply chains, lead to economic strength, support jobs. We're looking at investments that are fair, that contribute to equitable economic growth. We're looking at climate impacts, because every transportation decision in the 21st century is a climate decision, whether we recognize it or not. And thankfully, because we have such a big investment, you don't have to look at which states got funds from this infrastructure law and which ones didn't. Every single state. I believe we're already over 3,000 bridges. Some of them big iconic ones like this. Some of them bridges that you or I might not know the name of, but if you live in a rural community that depends on that bridge and it's got, let's say, a load limit because it's in poor condition and a truck or a school bus or an emergency vehicle can't use it and has to go around 20 minutes out of its way, that's a huge problem.
Right.
So we're making sure, whether we're talking about big projects like this or smaller communities, that every part of America sees the benefit, because frankly, every part of America has a need.
And Mr. Secretary, where are we? Speaking of infrastructure, it's less visible, but obviously what happened in the skies the last couple of months still has people uneasy. Can you give us an update?
Well, that's right, and there's several things we're looking at here. The first, of course, is to maintain the safety record of our aviation system. That's one of the reasons why FAA is very conservative. For example, that morning when this disruption happened, made the conservative step of pausing flights until they could be absolutely 100% sure that the system was operating the way it should. This is a system that is actually in the middle of a multi-year, multi-million-dollar upgrade. As you can imagine, I'm interested in what we can do to speed up the completion date of that project that's been underway for many years. And I think that's going to be one of many hot topics as we enter the FAA reauthorization. This is the year for us to work with Congress on legislation that's going to shape the next 5+ years of aviation policy in this country, and really welcoming the conversation with our congressional partners on how to get the right funding to the right places so that we can have a robust system, knowing that there is an enormous amount of change and an enormous amount of demand coming to the U.S. aviation sector. That's one thing we can be pretty sure of.
Yeah, no, I just chuckle when you say we welcome a robust discussion. I mean, we're going to be lucky if the government doesn't shut down in a couple of months, Mr. Secretary. So how, do we expect any of this to be caught up in there? It sounds like something like modernizing FAA infrastructure should be relatively straightforward, but this is a year in which nothing's going to get through without a fight, and the priorities better be pretty clear. And, so I don't know how many warm conversations there's going to be.
Well, look, this is an example of why we can't have political games affecting critical infrastructure in this country. The roads, the bridges, the aviation systems, they don't care about Republican-Democrat fights going on in Washington. The president has been very clear. The administration has been very clear about our priorities. We've been very clear that, especially as we see some of these strange threats and claims being made by congressional Republicans, that can't get in the way of the day-to-day work, the blocking and tackling of keeping things moving in this country. We have the funding for this infrastructure bill. We're working the plan. The less drama and the more action we can have in the year and years ahead, the better off this economy and this country is going to be.
All right, we'll leave it there, Mr. Secretary. Thanks so much for your time today. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you. It's a pleasure.
Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg.